Okay, so now we're going to create another tracker node. So tab key, just type in tracker there and it will come up, and just press tracker. And I'm going to just simply connect that to my pinky tracker, and I'm going to name this tracker again as my ring finger. Actually, I'm going to just make it as a tracker. I'm going to name it as a tracker as well, so that it's my signature that that's a tracker node. So if I just even click on there as well, I can just simply just bring, there you go. So once I'm happy with my naming, I'm going to just simply add a tracker node. Sorry, add a tracker point, excuse me. Just bring it in to my end point, give it more kind of placing the tracker point on a good location, which is up here, which I know that this location is fine for me. And again, I'm gonna just add another tracker. I'm using different source there, so just gonna bring that in a bit more, out that up, and then one more, which is I'm gonna just use that. Perfect, my area. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So just go to transform and rotate. Just simply click on that. Now what I'm going to do is simply track all of them together, and let's see what happens. So before we were just doing one by one. Let's see if that will give us a good tracking points. So if I just play this, you can see very clearly that it's sticking to the point. Quite cool. And very soon, and then you got your tracking. Your data is all held basically in this input field as well, which is fine. So if I just kind of bring that in here. So let me just click on here, and again what we can do is check if the data is the tracker is fine. So let's start from here first, and then click on your this point where I was explaining about the like a signal, and pretty much that's a really good track there. The few points here which can be solved, so let's solve these points. Let's go and solve them, and what we're going to do is simply go on our curve editor, and this time we were working on, so we got our tracker, so we got tracker 1 there. So at the moment we got tracker 1. Sorry, I don't know why the 4 tracker is there. Let me just delete that tracker, don't need that. So let's go on our tracker 1, and then click on the error, right click, and what you can see here, there's a huge jump there. So if I can just simply bring this back a bit more for you to see, you can see there's a light jump comes up, 1, 2, 3 there. So let's rectify that. So zoom in to this to show you, and then you just simply press on this key here, grab the pattern, and then bring it in a bit more, and then go back, and then you start giving pattern shapes again. So that didn't work, sorry, just wanted to go really slow. Go back in again. Okay, so pretty much okay with that. And let's go back now to node graph, and then do the same here. Let's go back here and do the same again. Few changes to be made on here. So curve, and then track 2. There you go. So from this point again, it's a huge jump. So again, click on the grabber, and then oops, sorry, that was wrong, and then bring back in. I mean, it's quite useful to have that information, and then of course we can start from here as well. Let's get the tracker point. There you go. So I'm pretty much okay with that. And our last one. Okay, let's go back. Click. Oops, sorry, I just don't want to create another tracker point. Just fine by here. Again, right at the end again, so we can just go on our curve to track 3, error, right click, all frames, and then we can just simply go from this point here, grab reference point, and then simply start working to bring the graph down to green. Okay, it's quite a manual driven thing, but it will work fine. The best thing is even you can experiment without doing this operation, because sometimes you can get away with, if I can come off from all my if I come off from node, so you can not use checking your tracking data and just track it and see how it goes. You never know, you know, it might be fine, but sometimes it's always good to just kind of double check how good your tracking data is. And now again, same thing. What we're going to do is I've got tracking 1, tracking 2, so on pinky finger, my ring finger is now tracked. Let's go to rotor again, and this time I'm going to have my ring finger okay, there we go. So now I'm going to start working this from again. So if I just go back here, let's go to Bezier. Let's create some shapes again. I'm literally doing like creating custom shapes, and then I'm gonna press Z to just literally bring in my shapes. So just select all of them and press Z, and then you can see I've got quite a nice shape there. Again, I can just simply bring that up a bit more and feather that. That looks nice. So just bring this up a bit more, feather. Okay, again here as well, just give some feather there. And this one looks way out, so just bring them in a bit more. And then feather that. It's always quite good to just go in and start looking at in detail, because rotoscoping is something where if you are not doing this part correct and you animate that, you have to really redo it, because you can't really, you need to kind of understand that this is a process where it's kind of a manual driven. That's why it's the most time consuming. Okay, and then if I just open that up a bit more, and here you can see some feathers coming out as well. What we can do here is, if I can just quickly have a look without the actual our red shade, and you can see that there's a line there's a kind of a segment comes down here, and then it goes up like that. So now I know what that is. So let me just go back. Again, what I can do is simply click on here and add a key point here. There we go. So if I just simply click on my curve there, add points, there we go. What I can do is simply take that off, take the red off for a minute, and just do it manually so that we know that that's where I'll be looking at. So that's kind of really going in detail how I'm going to set this up. That's it. Again, you can just bring that down a bit. That's good. And this one as well. Okay, let's check this one. Let's bring this out a bit more. It's fine, fine. And that's a good way as well to just to kind of look at the lines and see the patterns. I can come down a little bit more. Right, so the more detailed work you do, I mean, this is not a rush work, by the way. You can't rush this. There's no shortcuts to this exercise, so you have to be very precise and quite detailed as well. So okay, so I'm happy with this, and what I'm going to do is go back and press on D again to, oh, sorry, I just want to get the rotor back in. Happy with that, and now I'm going to do is simply click on my rotor. So I'm going to bring this bezier into my ring finger. I've just spelled ring wrong, there we go. And then I'm going to just say tip ring finger. So I'm going to just say tip segment ring finger. Anything for you to just remember what's going to happen. So okay, so now let's connect them now. So click on here, make sure that you are on your front frame, 0 frame, and then again link to, and then this time you see I've got the trackers are coming in. So I've got my ring finger, my pinky finger, so this time it's a ring finger. I'm going to just translate that, and then I'm going to just simply play that back, and this I can see the shift happening here, so which is absolutely fine. But that's the whole thing, beauty about tracking, that individually you can't just change stuff. So let me just go to the end frame first, and what I'm going to do is simply select all of them, and what I'm just going to do is simply what's happened here, because it's rotated tiny bit. So I'm going to do is bring this anchor point, bring this center point, and bring it here, and then literally rotate it. So what you need to just press is your control key, and then bring that here, bring your center point up here, and then what I'm going to do is simply rotate that. See that? So now I can do my rotation very nicely. So it's not really, I'm not even moving so much, just tiny bit. And then once I'm happy with that, then I can go in here, select my bezier points, and then I can just simply bring them out a bit more. There you go. Okay, so again, lot of work. Again, I can just see that some things not right there. Just bring that up a bit more, which is fine. And now I can see my let's play this back now, see if it's shifting. It's perfect, looking right, fine. So that's looking good for me. Okay, perfect. Now let's go back and start working on this middle segment. Again, I can just simply go on my Bezier. Oops. Okay, and here that we got like a curve happening, and then we can just go straight in here, which will be fine. Again, what I'm going to do is select all of my, oops, I didn't close that. That's what happens when you don't close it. Let's press on. It's not closed yet. There we go. So just close this. Oh, that's perfect. And what I'm going to do is simply just select again. Oops. And press Z twice so that you can see nice curves there. Again, we can set this up now. There you go. Again, what I can do is get rid of the red to see where my shapes lie down. So there we go. So I can just kind of really go in detail, go down. Okay, again, press on the control key to make sure that you can move your handles separately as well. So you can see that point's good. It's looking good. Oops, let's undo that. So if something is shifted, so let's go back on the number one. That's fine, looking good. Perfect. Let's do that. That's kind of comes in feather there, isn't it? So just give a bit more feather. Again, feather. So when you're working on that, so make sure you always follow the hard edge, and then you move your feather. And that's really kind of a very, very useful tool. Let's bring that in more. Just tightly blend that feather around. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm happy with this. Let's go back on my color. Okay, pretty much there. I can see some elements happening here. Let me just see what was the problem there. Right, so that was kind of, it jumps in here. So let's go back in our normal Bezier. Let me just name that as well, so I know it's my ring finger there. So this is my middle segment. So this is ring F. Okay. Right, so here I can just add some points this time. So what I'm going to do is simply let's go back here and click add points. So I've got only 2 points there. Let me just add a point somewhere down here and then bring this like that. Okay, so I'm pretty much happy with this. Now let's go back and see. Okay, yep, looking good. Slightly off there, so let's tighten that up a little bit. Perfect. Okay, now let's go and track this as well now. So let's simply click on your middle segment there, and again on your transform, click link to, and then you've got your ring finger tracker, and that's done. So let's play this back. So if I just come off from here, so that's a shift there already. You can see clearly what's happened. So starting point was fine. Okay, came in. Okay, so if I zoom in, you can see that where the change happened. We're fine here. It looks okay from frame 11, then from point here. So let me just go right at the end frame. Let's go frame 41, and I'm going to just simply move this whole down here, and that might do the magic. Oops. So again, just want to select that. Okay, and what I can do is simply select individual keyframe as well. Always remember to select as a group rather than individual. And then again, you can see here as well, there's a huge shift there. So if we just kind of open up from this point here, just bring that up a bit more. There you go. Okay, so I'm just checking again, just want to make sure that there's no drifting. Okay, fine. Okay, now let's go and do our last one, which is the bottom segment of this robotic finger. So again, I'm gonna simply make sure that I go on my Bezier, just kind of create, starting somewhere from here to, I'm just kind of openly, because obviously there's no they're all joined together, so I'm not quite fussed how much I bring that in. Again, I can just simply, I just undo that and just bring this down a bit. There we go. And I can just clean up. There you go. Select all again and then press Z twice. You can do that, and then let's kind of make that a bit more in shape there. There we go. Perfect. I'm happy with that. Again, I can just add a bit more of feather coming down a little bit, and I'm pretty much happy with that. Okay, so let's go back and link this now. This is the bottom segment ring F. So N G. Okay, so sorry, I just spelled this wrong. Let me just get this right. Okay, so now let's do the same thing what we've been doing. Again, clicking on here, and then simply click link to, and then we're looking at our ring finger and translate, and that's pretty much it. And that will kind of bring in nicely, and you can see that there's a shift already happened here. You can just zoom in, and these little details are quite important. So starting point was fine, as you can see, it's nicely, I feathered that as well, but then if I just move in, there's slightly shifts happening. So let's go right at the end of my frame, which is 41, and I can just see what I can do is simply just move it. If I can just simply select on this and then simply just drag it down down here somewhere. There you go. So now you can see there's a slight shift there. There you go. So I'm hoping that once we're viewing it in an alpha channel, that would really not have any problems, but we can always check. We will soon be testing our roto results over various backgrounds, but at the moment we're just kind of creating our roto stuff. So I'm going to just after this we're going to just go straight into testing our roto backgrounds, and then I would like you to start thinking of doing these two by yourself. But this time what I would like you to do is do your Bezier spline. So what I'm going to do is do one to for your reference, and I would like you to do this index finger for your reference. So let me just go and double click here and press 1 again, and then A, and these are the shapes which I've got. So let's play them back. Perfect. The shapes are not drifting apart, they are looking good. It's not bad. Okay, so if I just come off from here and then press on my 1, and I'm pretty much okay with this. So I just spotted something quickly, it was somewhere down here. You can see that there was a slight drift there. So if I just kind of go back on my middle segment there, and I'm going to just simply drag them out a tiny bit. There you go. Oops, it's too much. So let's bring them in a bit more. That's it. Well, now it's time for you to experiment on this robotic hand. The folder is on your drive, and you just have to look for robotic hand. Just read in the sequence and start working. You can start from the index finger or the middle finger, whatever you want to kind of experiment. Just experiment with it. And our next video would be our final video, which we'll be presenting again. And in this video we would expect everyone to output the rotoscope outlines, checkerboard, shaded rotoscope, whatever sequence you choose. So you'll be given footage, and you can choose footage as well from that, and hopefully by looking at the video and looking at the script, you'll understand more how you can develop your skills in rotoscoping. And let me just play this for you, and okay, there we go. So this is what really we'll be looking at. Hopefully you've enjoyed the tutorials, and if you can please click on mastering the roller skate video, so that'll be great. Thank you.